All right, you're here. I'm not. So let's get started. This is going to be our second installment of The Road to the Constitution, Part 2, the Convention. Wow, that really sucked. Let's try this again. All right, today I will take notes on the Constitutional Convention, the Virginia and New Jersey plans, the Great Compromise, the Three-Fifths Compromise, and the Slave Trade Compromise. I'll also explore the ratification of the Constitution. Analyze the Constitution, so I can analyze the Constitution and excerpts from the Federalist Papers. I know I have it when I can complete all activities with an 80% or higher. All right, so the two main questions we get out of today is, what were the main plans presented at the Constitutional Convention? What conflicts ensued at the convention between large states and small states, and the northern states and the southern states? All right, let's get started. James Madison is the father of our Constitution. He kept detailed notes during the Constitutional Convention and engineered compromises out of most of the issues facing the delegates. He was also author of the Virginia Plan, which basically was Virginia's Constitution, and proposed a federal government consisting of 3 separate branches. He also wrote most of the Bill of Rights with our pal George Mason. All right, in the offline version of this video, you'll be able to watch this great video and never unsee it from your head again. All right, also in the classroom, you'll find a link to this video, which is very important. Need y'all to watch that. Let's talk about compromise. Because the Constitutional Convention was all about compromise. Madison brought the Virginia Plan, which is also known as the Large State Plan, because it pretty much favored the large states. When I say large, I'm not talking size or stature. I'm talking about population. All right, so it was written by James Madison. It pretty much revises the articles completely, throws them out. Calls for a 3-branch government, a bicameral 2-house legislature, both houses based on population. This is called proportional representation. And an executive, aka the president, to be chosen by that legislature. However, the small states didn't like it, especially New Jersey, and we all New Jersey. We know how John Green feels about New Jersey. So New Jersey's William Patterson comes back with a small state plan called the New Jersey Plan. This was seeking to amend the articles only, creating a 3-branch government with an executive of 2 to 3 people, and a judicial branch, 1 court, to be chosen by the executive. It maintains a unicameral 1-house Congress, and all states have equal representation. Well, we didn't get both of those, so we had to come up with a compromise. You got it. And to bring those two plans together, Roger Sherman, man, that guy looks like a skeleton not with a face on it, came up with the Great Compromise, or the Connecticut Compromise. It combines the best parts of the Virginia and New Jersey plan and creates a bicameral legislature with a House of Representatives, which is based on population, and a Senate, which each state gets 2 senators. Well, now we got that hammered out, and we come to a whole nother problem. How do we count population for these houses, for the House of Representatives? Well, James Wilson and Roger Sherman ends this debate, because there was a whole problem between North and South over the states, because the South has a lot of slaves, and its white population is not as much as some of the northern states. So the South is getting all uppity, not wanting to be left out to the North. So what is compromised is called the Three-Fifths Compromise, and this is pretty horrid when you really think about it. Representation in the House of Representatives is based off the whole number of free persons, aka white people, plus 3/5 of all other persons, in other words, slaves. So white people are counted 1 for 1, but then out of 5 slaves, only 3 of them counted as human beings towards the population number. Yeah, charming, isn't it? So let's review the 2 plans. What you'll need to do is pause the video here and fill in the chart in your notes. Again, pause the video and fill in this chart on your notes. All right, but those weren't the only two compromises. We had the slave trade compromise. The North wanted to end slavery. The South, of course, doesn't want to end it. So they agree that the federal government could not make any laws regarding the slave trade for 20 years until 1808. All right. Then, what to do with runaways? The Fugitive Slave Clause is put into the Constitution. It prohibits states from freeing runaways. So if you're a free state and a slave escapes to your state and is caught, you have to return him. All right? They had to be returned under laws. All right? And states that are free states could not just free any slave that shows up. All right, so when you are done, fill in your notes. Pause this video, go back and watch this episode of Crash Course. All right, now we're going to practice. Take out this sheet in your packet, using your notes and a partner, complete this activity. All right. All right, now that you're back, we're going to talk about getting this baby ratified. All right. So from 1787 to 1789, for 2 years, the Constitution was shopped out to the people, and they debated it, they wrote about it, they advertised it, and we got the sucker ratified. So unlike the Articles of Confederation, only 9 out of 13 states were required to ratify the Constitution. Take that, Rhode Island. However, ratification would not be easy. Two groups formed in favor of the Constitution and against the Constitution. We have the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. The Federalists believed in the Constitution. A strong central government is essential to protect freedom. Led by Madison, Hamilton, and Jay, they wrote a series of 85 essays in defense of the Constitution called the Federalist Papers, which are still used today by the Supreme Court to analyze what the founders intended. The Anti-Federalists were mostly against the Constitution. They were suspicious of strong government. They wanted a Bill of Rights, and they thought this baby was written illegally. This was handed up by people like George Mason, Patrick Henry, and Samuel Adams. They too wrote some essays called the Anti-Federalist Papers. All right, when you're done, watch this. All right, now you finish the video, get with your partner, turn to this page of your packet, read the directions, and explore the Federalist Papers and submit.